Testing. Just want to make sure I'm live. Testing. Just want to make sure I'm live. All right, shalom. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honor to my elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Singing honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children that do consist of the 1/3. And also peace and blessings be to the confusion of faces that's been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Hyperinflation, Incredulity, the Apostles' Creed. Now, I'm not going to make this long, but I'm just going to go with the spirit. There's always articles out there speaking about, hyperinflation and the value of the dollar being decreased. But these are some things that we need to be talking about right now at this point, at this apex of the matter. And without further ado, I would like to play a couple videos. They're not going to be long. One's from RT, Boom Bust, and another one's from Dabu7. I recommend you watch and follow both of them. But I want to make sure that it's playing. So I want you to listen to what they're saying about the hyperinflation. Okay? Hearken.
All down. We got a lot to get to. So let's go. We lead the program with the latest data from the Consumer Price Index showing inflation hit 7.5% in January on an annualized basis. That's the highest annual rate since February of 1982, 40 years ago. It's also more than the Dow Jones estimate of 7.2%, with fuel, food, and shelter costs leading the way. From December to January, the cost of rent rose at its fastest pace in 20 years. Electricity was up at its highest rate in 15 years, and household furniture saw its largest one-month increase on record. This, as two of the largest increases have been the price of hotels up.
So if you've been paying attention, listen to what he's saying. U.S. Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers. That's us. Year-over-year change, January 2022. What it's saying is that used cars and trucks, the price has gone up 40%. Now, all this is over like a 40-year period, for 4 decades. This is where we at right now. 20% for hotels, 17% for furniture, 10% for electricity, and so forth and so forth. The cost of living is constantly increasing, but they keep giving you pennies on the dollars for a freaking raise, okay? And it makes no sense to me. But I understand why. Okay? So continuing on.
Over 20%, and used cars and trucks up over 40% just in the last year.
Now, it's also important to note here that the last time inflation was this high, the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate at which banks and depository institutions trade federal funds, was over 13% after hitting an all-time high of 20% during the recession of 1980. However,
so they're talking about a recession that happened back in the 90s. Recessions always happen. I mean, look at the Great Depression, right? So back in the 1980s, if you look back during that time, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, or the federal funds effective rate is going down. Okay? Matter of fact, let me go back a little bit. Telling you guys some more justice.
Just in the last year.
Now, it's also important to note here that the last time inflation was this high, the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate at which banks and depository institutions trade federal funds, was over 13% after hitting an all-time high of 20% during the recession of 1980. However, right now, the Fed funds rate is around just 0.25%. The Fed is expected to announce their first increase since 2018 next month, and now the predictions that it will be 50 basis points instead of 25 are increasing. But will that...
So it said U.S. and... Ooh, let me go back to that screen really quick. Come on now.
Their first
You want to do this on my live now? So you let me watch all the folly I want, But when I'm trying to do educational, edifying video, you want to play. I mean, come on, man. It's on 360 pixels per second.
Their first
Come on.
increase since 2018 next month. And
It's just sad.
now the predictions that it will be 50.
U.S. inflation rate tops 40-year highs. 40 years ago, we were here, people. 40 years ago. The cost of living is constantly increasing, but we're right back at square one 40 years later, people. All right? And this reminded me of a precept I want to bring out. Think about people get excited, or matter of fact, let me say the sheeple get excited when they say, "Oh, the cost of living." What they say? The minimum wage is $14, $15. Or Walmart and McDonald's, they're giving you $15 an hour now to work there. Yeah, still selling the same product. It's not like you found out. It's not like you found the fountain of youth. You're selling the same product. You're probably skimping on the ingredients, but the cost of living is constantly increasing. So you have to increase the amount of money per hour that you're paying to people. Okay, so with that inflation, listen, 40 years, the inflation was at the same stance it is today. 40 years ago, 1980. All right, and this precept, this Bible verse came to my mind right here. Haggai 1:6. Forgive me. Haggai 1:6. It says, "Ye have sown much. Ye have sown much, and bring in little." Meaning you work a lot, but you don't have enough. Or you barely making it, living paycheck to paycheck. But ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. What does it mean to have wages to put into a bag with holes? Alone. Because you pretty much robbing Peter to pay Paul. Let's say you need $100 to get you to next week. When you go get that loan, guess what? You have to pay them back with interest. That's how the banks get rich. So that $100 loan, you have to end up paying not only the $100 back, which is the premium, but maybe $20, $25. That's like damn near 20-25% interest rate for $100. So you only living paycheck to paycheck, right? So looking at the dollar, looking at the value of it, it's been decreasing. So now I have a note here I want you to watch. Pay attention to from Dabu 7.
50 basis points. And
listen to this.
This is Dabu 7. We're now getting word that Walmart is putting these devices on their stand. You can see right here in this clip, stopping people from stealing it. That is how bad things have got at this point. So these original clips were shared on TikTok showing this ribeye steak selling for $20.83, locked up because people are stealing stuff so bad. I've showed you clip after clip, time and time again, of these people walking in the stores, taking what they want and walking right out the front door. There's actually a clip at this length of a whole nother incident.
Forgive me.
Another incident and series of events where people are filling up bags and walking right out of the store and no one is stopping them. The workers are being told, do not.
So listen to this. This is what's happening in Walmart right now. I think this is Walmart down here in Florida. A ribeye steak for $20. It's pretty much being wired down, like with fence wire and whatever, or barbed wire. Why is that? Because people are literally putting food in their bags and they're walking out of Walmart without paying. Why is that happening if they have the money? Well, evidently they don't have the money for it. And employees at Walmart are being told to do not engage with them. So eventually you're going to end up having the National Guard, the military, at these convenience stores, or not convenience stores, at these grocery stores. Right? So people are literally going inside the store, getting food, and walking out without paying. Why? Because they ain't got the money for it. Jacob's trouble is at the precipice soon. We're there. It's coming soon. The famine is coming. It's coming, people. You know, and what gets me that you got people in America, they're I'm gonna say it, bitch, moaning and complaining about what? First world fucking problems, feminism, equality. People over in Afghanistan are selling their organs, even their children, just to eat a meal. Think about that, a meal to get them through maybe a day or two. And y'all over here buying, y'all got Uber Eats, DoorDash, and man, you can order pizza and stuff. Come on, man. How many people today are grilling before the Super Bowl comes on? Right? Inflation is real, man, and this famine is coming soon. Matter of fact, let me get that piece up. It's the second Esdras in the Apocrypha, which is part of the 1611 King James Version Bible. Second Esdras 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth. Victuals are pretty much your necessities in life. Your gas, your medicine, your water, your food, all of that. Right? It says that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right now, like I said, you can order food, you can get Uber Eats, you can do all of that, right? You can barbecue, whatever. And even then shall evils go upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right. Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You know, people will always, English has evolved somewhat. But someone, and maybe like 50, 60 years ago, they would see someone that's faint and tired. He was like, brother, are you famished? You want something to eat? You thirsty? Famish goes back to famine, meaning you're lacking food and water. You look deprived. Right? But the sword, the famine, and great confusion is going to come upon the earth. And it says that for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. People are walking inside stores and walking out with food without paying. That's letting you know, man, that there's a scarcity of food for them at their house. Not that there's a scarcity of food, but it's a scarcity of food for them at their house. But see, this is something that we've been telling you for the longest, from the beginning. This is something that we've been telling you for the long. Started with the elders of Great Millstone on down, right? And now these things are coming to pass. They are becoming true. The wars and rumors of war, America constantly with their propaganda saying that Russia's going to invade Ukraine. Well, you got Trudeau, you got Germany, and you got Ukraine telling the United States, hey, yo, man, pump your brakes, man. All this senseless rhetoric. You want a war. All right, but over here, man, we good. We Gucci, right? So going back to 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, those who didn't believe what we were saying. Because it's not us. Hey, even Yahawashi said it. He that despises you despises me. And he that despises me despises him that sent me. That's why we're known as apostles. Apostle means what? Sent forth. To go out there and preach the words to the people. Verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right? Matter of fact, let me go back up. 2nd Esdras 15 and 3, forgive me. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So those who are incredulous, they lack faith. Remember, faith is what? A gift, something that's given. They don't believe that when we say that martial law is going to come, that the race wars are going to come, that there's going to be a famine of food. You're going to be lacking in water. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world. It's going to be a world like none other that you could have imagined. But see, that's the difference between us and them. You're going to say that word, incredulity. The root word in there is credo, because incredulity means to be at a disbelief. All right. Matter of fact, let me go back really quick. Let me see something. Really quick. Let me see something really quick. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Once again, incredulous, unbelieving, incredulous. So what does credulous mean? Right? Disposed to believe, uncritical with regard to beliefs, that easily believes, trustful. That's why in the scriptures, it says, what is it? Sirach 19:24. It is plain to him that is righteous, but it's a stumbling block to the wicked. That's why it's easy for us to believe, because we've been found trustworthy, right? Pardon me. So going back, or going forward, I should say. Credo. That would be pretty much like the root word in incredulity is credo. Early 13th century, the creed in the church service. The creed in the church service. What is a creed? A creed is like an oath. The Latin credo, I believe, the first word of the apostles and Nicene creeds. To believe. The first thing they said in the Apostle Creed was, I believe, which pretty much was, we believe. Okay? See what it says right here? This is the Nicene Creed, the Nicene Council, okay? So, it says, we believe in one God, the Father Almighty, okay? Forgive me. Maker of heaven and earth, of all things visible and invisible. You know what that sounds like? That reminds me of Colossians, the first chapter. So when you go into the word incredulous, in meaning like the opposite, credo meaning to believe, credulous meaning to believe. Then you go into credo, goes back to what? The belief of the Nicene Council. The apostles who actually believed in the resurrection, that actually believed in the Old Testament, that actually believed in the Messiah. That's where all this stems from, man. So going back to the hyperinflation, all right, federal fund effective rate 10-year overview. And then when you go back, going back to 1980 up until now, we are at the same stage we were in the 1980s up until now, dealing with the value of the dollar. Only thing that's increased is the cost of living, not the value of the dollar. But that's where you get the whole bubble concept from when you're dealing with Wall Street. They keep pumping, they keep throwing money out, keep printing money. I mean, hell, compare the value of a Honda to a goddamn Enzo or a Lamborghini. You don't see Lamborghinis every day on the street. But you see a lot of Hondas on the street, right? So the more supply of a product, meaning that there's less demand of it. Because what? It's not rare. What's the real value of having 1 million productions of a Honda compared to like what? Maybe 200 productions of a Lamborghini? Everybody can't get a Lamborghini. Not only because there's not a large quantity, but because of the quality of the car as well. And the dollar's losing its quality because they keep creating quantity and also destroying relations with all the other foreign nations. All right. So let's go to Acts 23 and 8. It says, for the Sadducees say, matter of fact, Act 23 and 6, okay? But when Paul perceived that one part was Sadducees and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee. Of the hope and resurrection of the dead, I am called in question. Yes. Hold on. Slack it. Hold on. Slack it. I gotta reply to a message real quick. All right. Here we go. I'm a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee, of the hope and resurrection of the dead, I am called in question. All right. And when he had so said, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the multitude was divided. For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, neither angel nor spirit, but the Pharisees confess both. That was the whole purpose of the Nicene Council. And it gives you a certain distinction upon who are the true apostles. All right? Going into Sadducees, the righteous. That's what Sadducees mean, the righteous. A religious party at the time of Mashiach among the Jews who denied that the oral law was a revelation of God to the Israelites. In other words, whatever Moses said, they really don't care. If that's the case, it makes so much sense why he said you have Moses as a witness. Oh man. What's that? St. John the 5th chapter. I had an epiphany right now. All right. And who deemed the written law alone to be obligatory on the nation as the divine authority. Pretty much here comes the point. They denied the following doctrines: resurrection of the body, immortality of the soul, existence of spirits and angels, divine predestination, affirm free will. Well, hell, they shouldn't even read the Bible. Because Yahushua was resurrected. The spirit which was given to us from the Heavenly Father goes back to him. I mean, he's omnipresent, right? Existence of spirits and angels. Well, what happened when the man that was bound by the graveyard, when Yahushua took the legions of demons out of him and cast into the swine? What happened? The swine ran into the water and drowned themselves. Divine predestination. The spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. It's like, come on. But going on. Now, who are the Pharisees? A sect that seemed to have started after the Jewish exile. In addition to Old Testament, the Pharisees recognized in oral tradition a standard of belief and life. All right. So in other words, they believe in it. They believe in the entirety of the Bible. They sought the Bible wasn't created back then, but you know what I mean, the Old Testament, because Paul's writings will be happening during the time they was having these discussions. They sought for distinction and praise by outward observance of external rites and by outward forms of piety, in such as ceremonial washings, fastings, prayers, and almsgiving, and comparatively negligent of genuine piety. They pride themselves on their fancy good works. So in other words, the Pharisees, remember you have wicked Sadducees and wicked Pharisees, but the Pharisees predominantly believed in the Old Testament, the resurrection, the washing of hands, the ceremonies, and everything, right? So what if some do not believe? Shall that unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yea, let every man, let God's word be true, but every man a liar. At the end of the day, matter of fact, let's go there. So, like the Bible says, my servant shall eat, but ye shall hunger. My servant shall drink, but you shall be athirst. My servant shall rejoice, but you shall have vexation of spirit. Why? Because you didn't choose the Most High to be your refuge. You trusted in Egypt. You didn't believe. You were incredulous, right? Haggai 1. Sorry, not Haggai. Romans 3 and 3. I don't know why I said Haggai. For what if some did not believe? Shall that unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Will your unbelief make what the Lord said non-effectual or ineffectual, I should say. No, the Lord's still gonna do it. Why? Because the deceived and the deceiver are His. So the God of this world blinded you if you don't believe. That's a scary thing, because it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Lord. God forbid, yea, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. But if our righteousness command the righteousness of God, what shall we say? Is God unrighteous who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid. For then how shall God judge the world? So judgment is coming to the world, whether you like it, accept it, believe it or not. And going back to the Apostles' Creed, listen here. How about this? Let me tell you this much. You cannot be an apostle without being a prophet first. See, you could be a prophet and not be an apostle. Because what is a prophet? A prophet is an individual, because women have visions too. A prophet is an individual that have visions that's been given to them by the Most High Yahawah. And then they interpret it through the spirit of truth, which the world cannot receive, to get a better understanding of it. You filter it through the scriptures, right? But an apostle is a man that's sent forth out to the highways and byways to bear our people to the marriage. So yeah, you can be a prophet or a prophetess. Ladies, take that lightly, right? But everyone can become an apostle, okay? But at the end of the day, we all are members of the body of YAHAWASHI, QADASH, right? Like I said, I mean, I don't want to make this long. Hyperinflation is coming. Famine is coming. Race wars are coming. World War III is coming. A lot of our people do not believe, but at the end of the day, you're not going to stop this train. Shout out to John Mayer. This is going to be a continuation of the Most High's judgment. This place is going to go down in flames, up in flames or down in flames, either way, right? So with that being said, pray edified and fed. Stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing. Stay humble, remain diligent. YAHAWAH, Shalom.